Hello everyone, it's me, Rocket. Some of you may know me from my previous channel where I used to make animations, stick note animations to be precise. That I got really tired. Animation is too tiring for me. I think I'm just better off sticking it with art. You know, I think it's what suits me. Maybe draw animation will work. I'm yet to try that. I'm yet to try that. Maybe someday, who knows. Um, at first I was going to make a script for this video and everything, like a good content creator does, but I don't have the energy to do that. I haven't slept all night making this drawing. I've literally spent all night making this drawing. I started like at 1 in the morning, and I still haven't slept. It's 11:24, and I started at night, like fucking you know what I mean, right? You're smart. You know what I mean. I haven't slept. Just because I have this sudden urge, this sudden need to draw at night for some reason. I'm like, yes, now is the time. Now I have the inspiration. I'm going to make the fucking best drawing of my life. And I get to it, and I start drawing. I've done this like 3 times now. I think 3-4 times. It's honestly absurd. And I have to stop doing it like right now. I'm going to end up with a really unhealthy routine. Yes, I do English. Thank you. Fuck. I'm really tired, dude. I've literally drawn this, published it on my social media. I've edited this video to make it a SpeedPaint. I had to export this fucking thing twice, because the first one it went from 4 hours of recording to 1 hour, and then from 1 hour to 16 minutes. I couldn't make it any shorter. I wanted to make it a 7-minute video maybe, but it has to be 16. It doesn't let me do any longer, and I'm not in the mood to wait another hour to export it. Maybe I should talk about that drawing. This drawing took me longer than I expected, but not because I don't know what I'm doing. I have drawn this Pokémon before, but on paper. That's true, I've drawn it on paper, and in a much smaller scale. I haven't drawn it in like a full drawing. It was only like sketches and stuff that I did on high school, which was like 2 years ago, year and a half. And it's specifically Zeraora because I really fucking like this Pokemon. I really like this Pokemon. It's one of my favorites. I have a favorite normal Pokemon, I have a favorite legendary, and I have a favorite mythical. And Zeraora is my favorite mythical. For anyone wondering, my favorite legendary is a short whatchamacallit, the top is shared between Reshiram and White Kyurem. It's essentially the same Pokemon twice, except not really, because fusion is weird. Kyurem is a weird Pokemon. And my favorite normal Pokemon is Samurott, because I spent so much time with that little bastard. I was so happy to see it returning in Legends Arceus, and I really like the way it's done, the Hisuian form of Samurott. I am really happy that's the one they chose for the water starter. Anyway, in the drawing, the drawing you're seeing right now, one of the things that most time took was the hands holding the Pokeball, because I knew I wanted it to hold the Pokeball. I didn't just want to have a guy there. I wanted it to be ready to battle, which, by the way, it's not a guy. It's like a self-insert. Yes, I may show this kid someday. I don't know. I have like, if you fucking characters based on real people, real friends I have. It was a really fun thing to do back in the day. I remember it was back when like the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC was coming, so I fell in love with Galarian Zapdos. I still am in love with Galarian Zapdos. It's such a fucking great design. I love it so much. But yeah, one of the things that took me the most time was to make the hand holding the Pokeball. Because at first I wanted to make it like a Pokemon Black and White pose. You know the one. If not, I'll maybe put on the reference. I wanted it kind of like that, but it didn't work out. Here I am putting the light references to make sure I don't fuck up the lighting, like have two different suns or something like that. That's a really common mistake artists make. At least beginners, they have like two different light sources that don't make sense. You really have to make sure you're not fucking up the light. The lighting is really important. If you have the sun on the right, you can't make shadows on the right. Does that make sense? Am I explaining myself well? If the sun is on your right, that's where the light is gonna be facing you. So you can't have shadows there. It doesn't make sense unless there is an object making it the shadow. Like if you're behind a wall or something like that. Am I explaining myself? I think I am. I hope I am. So that's one thing I wanted to take into account to make sure I knew where my light sources were, which was mainly in Zeraora's fist thing. It's not a fist, it's more like his palm. In Zeraora's palm, and some sort of sun. I didn't know exactly what time of day it was going to be, but it ended up being night. As you can see, it's a really night-esque background. So it was going to be a moon. Sorry. I ended up making a moon. You'll see later how I did it. At first it was going to be in the middle of the screen, but it ended up being behind Zeraora only because it looked more badass. On the background, on the sky background, it took me a while because the what's the name? The brush is really weird to control sometimes. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't know what you're doing, so it took me a while to get used to that. As for the grass, I just spammed the brush I do have for grass making and kind of went along with it and see what I could do. I gave some detail to the ground below, so it didn't look so boring, like a single color. I didn't want that. I wanted it to have shades and different colors and stuff, you know. And one thing I did is for the grass, as you can see, I am blurring the parts below, like the bottom half of the grass. I am blurring it, so it doesn't look like just a PNG of a grass in there. It looks like I try to mimic like it having volume and such. That's something really important, and also something that I learned that you will see later today. I mean today in the video, something later in the video, is that grass has different colors. It's not a single color. It's not a single vibrant grass type. There are like more. I mean, it's night, so it's all blue. But let's imagine it's a green, sunny day, right? It's not all green. There are some shades of orange. There are some shades of green. Sometimes the grass is dead and it looks brown-esque. So there are variations to that, and I try to mimic that by making the opacity lower and higher, trying different shades of blue, and all that good stuff. Also, height and scale. Grass is not always the same scale. It's not like a football stadium where all the grass is just so low and so you know what I mean, right? It has a volume. Some grass is taller than other, so I did that by just simply making the brush bigger. It was easy. It didn't. There it is. The moon. There's the moon. At first I couldn't get it, so I just said fuck it and got a PNG of the moon. I didn't get myself to the trouble of mimicking it, so I just gave it a filter and slapped it in there. The lighting, some people have a lot of trouble with the lighting, but it's not really that hard. It's honestly a really funky line, actually. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really not that hard to make good lighting. I think it looked decent in here. I'm remaking the outline on the self-insert me to make it look cleaner and not so fucking choppy. One thing that I had to do for the coloring, I'm doing it manually here, but after that I had to redo the outline and fill it inside of the outline. I had to copy the outline and fill it inside there, and then manually crop the things out and in back again. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically I couldn't just fill it in another layer. I had to copy the layer with the outline and fill it in there. You know, because of the black outlines, it filled in between. I don't know how to explain it. Adding lighting to the lightning. And after this, I think I started with the shading. Yeah, I started with the shading. I chose purple because I think it looked nice on the skin. It did look nice on the skin, but on the fur I had to choose a different color. It was purple still, but it's not full on purple. Also because I saw my friend Craig doing it on purple and I really liked it, and I said, yo, I want to try that, let me give it a shot. And I did, and I think it looks nice. Not too bad. I think I could have done better, but it's my first try doing it. I did my best with what I had. So yeah, for the fur, I also went for a more brown tone later on. I think it's over here right now. You can see I'm less purple and more brown, which makes sense, seeing as it's yellow fur. I wouldn't say it's brown completely, but you know what I mean. It was a bit of a headache to get the fur off the chest right, because I didn't know if I wanted the lighting to affect it. I didn't know if it was enough. I didn't know exactly how I wanted it, but I ended up with a result I liked. And fun fact, I forgot to put the lighting on the body, the purple part of the body. I forgot to do that. I was so focused on the fur that I forgot to do the actual skin. I did the face, the ears, and I said, okay, time to do the fur. And I had to come back to it later because I said, shit, I haven't done this. And I had to go back to it and spend a few minutes on it. As you can see, here I am doing it now. And some parts of the purple went into the yellow, and I had to manually correct that because it was a bit of a headache to realize. I mean, to understand what was going where. But overall, I think it went nice. I think the lighting was nice. Then I did to. It's something I like to do lately. To smooth out the outline, I like to do it the same, not the same, but the color of you know, if it's for yellow, if it's skin purple. You know, it's a technique that artists do to smooth things out and not make things so harsh on the eye. Like it's not a black outline, so you can kind of see it better. I don't know if you see it better, but I think it looks nicer on the eye. It's more rounded, I guess. It's not so obvious that it's just a black outline, you know. I don't know how to properly explain it. I also had a bit of a trouble with the lightning on the self insert, because I had no idea how to do the skin. I went for the purple and I didn't like it. I went for brown, I didn't like it either. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go for the hair, I'll do the skin later. And I went for the brown and I said, okay, I think this works. And I ended up liking it. If you don't like it, let me know. I don't know how it turned out. I said, okay, it's good enough, I guess. I made some things on the ear so it doesn't look so bad. And then I went on to the poncho. Fun fact is, a poncho is my poncho that I used to wear back in the day when I made the self insert. So yeah, that's my poncho. Really good quality. I really like it. It's when I started going into the techwear thing, and that's the first thing I bought. Shading on the Pokeball, easy. I didn't know if I wanted the white part to show up. I didn't. As you can see, I didn't make the white part of the Pokeball show up. Also, fun fact about me not the drawing. I really love Pokeballs. I usually don't use any other ball. Like, I went on X and Y to the Mewtwo cave and I got it full health with Pokeballs, and I was like, let's fucking go. I think I'm about done with the drawing here. Yeah, I made some retouches on the grass to make it look nicer, not so empty, because I thought it looks empty. I add some sprinkles on the background. Yeah, there you can see the grass. And I don't know, I think that's about it. I will leave the result in the description if you wanna go check it on DeviantArt, on Twitter, on Patreon. I guess you could go on Patreon. Maybe give me something more. Give me some money. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. I hope you enjoy me talking about random stuff that don't even make sense. I don't even know if they will make sense, but yeah, thank you for being here and watching. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I need you to please.